Hi, this is Mark, and I am in front of the San Mateo County History Museum, and it's a little more uh, active today than other days I've been here. It's a sunny day, and I'm doing the reading from the Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda, and this is for October 10th. The topic is, "For the one who weaves, there's no need for a monkey." Learn the lesson. God, you sent me here for a purpose. You know what to give me, how much to give me, when to give me, and how to give it to me, in order for me to do my part of the work. If I need some instrument, you will give me that. If I need some companion, you will give me that companion. If I need some money to do my service to you, you will send me the money. The mere fact that you are not getting something means that God thinks you don't need it. How nice life would be if we could just remember this. If you don't get it, think, God probably thinks I don't need it. If I need it, even if I say, no, I don't want it, he will force it into my hand. There's a beautiful South Indian proverb, "For the one who weaves, there's no need for a monkey." When you use a hand-weaving machine, you work with delicate, thin yarns. And if you have a monkey for a pet, you are not going to weave much of anything, because as you know, monkeys like to imitate everything. So that means if you are interested in weaving, you shouldn't keep a monkey as a pet. If God created you for weaving, he won't give you a monkey even if you want it. If he decides to give you a monkey, he will train the monkey to help you in weaving, maybe to push the shuttle. We should have that kind of faith. That kind of acceptance won't come unless you have tremendous faith in God, tremendous faith in a higher force, in the consciousness that sent you here and that functions through you. I like that last part in particular that gives a definition for me of God, and that it's, this having tremendous faith in a higher force, in the consciousness that sent you here and that functions through you. Again, we have to first ask ourselves if we feel that are we completely in charge of everything that's happening in our own life? Are we designing the way that all of this unfolds? Do we believe that it, begins and ends with our own mind? If so, then probably, you're not watching these. It's not of interest because you have a different perspective on what it means to be here. But what I feel myself align with are these spiritual teachings, which say that there is some other higher force that's guiding and designing all of this. And if it's meant to come into our life, it comes. If it's not meant, then it won't. And that can also be challenging because, a lot of us, we think, well, I've worked really hard. I had to go to school. I got a degree. I got a job. I'm getting paid a certain amount of money, and that's all because of my skills that I worked hard to do. But I like what he said here in the beginning. You know what to give me, how much to give me, when to give it to me, and how to give it to me in order for me to do my part of the work. So it's not excusing us to just, lay on the couch and wait for the divine energy to tell us what to do. But there are impulses that we're given, and I think we are either listening to them, or ignoring them, or denying them, or second guessing them. But those moments when you've had like this moment of inspiration or something that's come into your mind that you feel like this is the right thing to do. That's that place. Like, what is that? Where is that coming from? Versus other times when you're like, I know I should do this, but I'm going to do this instead. And that's, we can consider saying that's the ego or the willful part of ourself that's coming in to try to block or distract us from what we really need to do. And even in some of these teachings, it'll say, well, then that's what we're supposed to do. So if that part of our mind says that, well, you'll do that until you stop. And I think we all have things in our life that we may be doing that we want to change or we want to stop doing. I know I've had some compulsive behaviors that I've wanted to stop doing, but I kept doing them and doing them and doing them until, something finally inspired me to change. And sometimes we need outside help for that. We can't do everything on our own. Sometimes we need that support of other higher energies that are around us. Sometimes our lower energies get the best of us. So is there a way for us to connect with other higher energies that really wish for our highest good, and we can tap into that? So I guess this is really a lesson about having faith. It's kind of a theme here, and having faith that whatever we need is going to be there. I know I've had some of my own thoughts about how I felt like my income should be happening. I thought by now I would have more of a flow with my financial income, but I'm recognizing that's part of the lessons for me to be learning right now, how to manage money, and when it's gotten really low and I'm like, what's going to happen, to it then shifting and now, having stability around that again. But I thought for a while, like, what's going on here? This isn't how it should be going. But then I realized in some hindsight how much I learned, how valuable that was for me for things to get kind of dire, how it activated part of my brain and how it's inspired me to think going forward, not to take it for granted, but to be able to recognize the importance of all the little steps and all the big steps that we all go through, that they happen for a reason. So instead of us saying, why is this always happening? Or, this happens to them, it doesn't happen to me, or vice versa. Maybe there's a reason, rather than going into the blame and feeling like the victim, we can think, is there a purpose? And that's up to us to answer, decide what helps us keep our peace and helps us move forward versus what keeps us in a spin cycle. All right, that's what I'm going to read and talk about today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.